In this video, I'm going to explain about how to plot a line graph using Matplotlib library. First thing, we need to open the IDLE editor and create a new Python file and import the required library. Here my requirement is Matplotlib library. So import the Matplotlib. At the same time, I need one more submodule that is called PyPlot. So I need both Matplotlib and PyPlot. So that supermodule and submodule. PyPlot is the submodule and Matplotlib is the supermodule. And I am assigning an alias name for this package or library, that is PLT. So wherever I am going to use matplotlib.pyplot, instead of typing the entire name, I am using PLT short name in place of that. Now, if I want to plot a line graph, I need to take some parameter on the x-axis and some parameter on the y-axis. Suppose if I want to plot a graph for two parameters like sales, okay, sales quantity and years. Suppose in 2010, how was the sales? In 2015, 20, 25, like that. On a y-axis, sales about range of the sales. So like that. Not similarly, age groups I can take it on x-axis and weights or I can take it on y-axis. Any parameters we can took on either x-axis or y-axis. So we have to plot the graph. So that can be done with the help of line graph. So for that I need to assign some x coordinates to my x-axis and y coordinates to my y-axis. So that can be done with the help of a list items. So x is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 and 6. Okay. And y is equals to, for example, 1, 4, 9, 16, 25 and 36. This is simply I am squaring all the x coordinate values, 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, 4 square, 5 square, 6 square. Now, if I want to plot a graph, there is a predefined function called plot. So we need to pass x coordinate value and y coordinate value here. Okay, and by default, the graph is not visible. If you want to make it visible on the screen, then we need to access a function called show function. So after defining the x coordinates, after defining the y coordinates, okay, after initializing both, simply we will pass them inside the plot function. So it will plot a graph. So plot function purpose is to draw a line graph. So first we need to save this program. And this one, line graph. So line graph demo.py. If I run the program, you can observe the graph. See, on x-axis, the values are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I assign the x-coordinate values to a list. List elements are enclosed in a square bracket. So x is equals to given like 1, comma 2, comma 3, 4, 5, 6. So those values are take it on x-axis. On y-axis, just I square the x values, 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, 4 square. So it is internally division an interval like this. Okay, you can observe this one. And here one more thing, for this line, for x-axis no label is assigned. What is x-axis? For y-axis also no label is assigned. As I told you that are these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are age groups, are this 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 weights of the persons? What are those? So we need to assign some labeling for this x-axis and y-axis. I will show you how do we assign labels for this one. So we have two more functions called x label and y label. Before displaying, we need to access them. So plot x label, and in double quotes we need to assign a meaningful name. Suppose x axis, I given something like this. Plot y label, y axis. Okay, so I added two more lines, so I need to save this and rerun the program. Now we are able to watch the labels on the graph. So previously we did not get the labeling on x-axis, what is this x-axis is representing, and what is this line is representing. So here I assigned a common name like x-axis and y-axis. But if you want to plot a graph between the persons ages and their weights, then you have to assign like here persons. Okay, ages. Here you need to assign it like a weights. Suppose here if you are projecting here years, then you have to mention here as year, and these are like sales, then you have to mention here as sales. Like that we have to assign a meaningful name for both x-axis and y-axis. By seeing those labels, end users can identify that what is represented on x-axis, what is represented on y-axis. And for this entire graph we need to assign a name. What is this graph? Okay, for that, before displaying them, we need to assign a title. So title, okay. So my first graph. So for example, my first graph. I'll save this one and rerun the program. See this one. So my first graph. My mouse pointer is here, and there is a label title displayed at the beginning of the graph. What is this graph is representing? What is the main goal of this graph? Okay. So my first graph, some name I given like this, and x label importance I told, y label importance I told, and a title function. So how many functions we used in this program till now? We accessed a plot function to draw a line graph, and we accessed a x label function to assign labeling on x-axis. To assign labeling on y-axis, I accessed y label, and to assign a common title for the entire graph, I assigned title. And by default, graphs are not visible, so we need to access a function called show function. And here one more important thing is, here the plot function is expecting so many arguments, not only x and y. By default, if you observe the output, there is a solid line drawn here. But instead of solid line, if I want to change the line, shape of the line, I can do it with the help of suppose if I want dot, sorry, dash and dot. Instead of getting a solid line in my line graph, I want these symbols as part of the output. So I can pass one more argument inside the plot function. So if you pass this one, what will happen? Just you observe. You see, previously there is a solid line drawn, but in this, after changes made to our plot function, I specified that I need the symbols shape of the line like dash and dot, dash and dot. If you observe dash dot, like that, it is drawn a line. Okay. And next one, in place of ls dash and dot, if I given dot, then how it is going to do? Sorry. So only the function ls is accepting these are the arguments: solid, dashed, dash dot, and dotted. So what I given here? Dotted means only one dot is required, not double dot, only one dot. Suppose if I given dot dash, what will happen? We observe. See, here it is clearly specified that ls argument is accepted the values like dash, okay, dash dot, and colon. It won't accept a symbol called dot. In my program, I given dot operator. That is the reason it is raising an error. There is no shape with the symbols like dot and dash. You can see here what are the symbols that are accepted by ls argument. Ls is accepting only single dash, double dash, dash and dot and colon. Only these four values only we can assign to this one. Similarly, in place of these symbols, either you can use this one solid or dashed or dash dot or dotted. I will show you how to use them. So I will delete this and I will give you a colon. So this symbol is accepted by ls argument. So what are the possible values that can be holded by ls? Only those values we need to assign. If you assign some other values other than the specified built-in values that are accepted by ls, then it will raise an error like this. So I will save this one. Now it will draw a graph with the specified symbol. You see. So when I given colon, it prints like this. Now in place of symbols, we can also use like dot dash. See, actually it is accepted dash dot, but I given dot dash. So there is no value with the name dot dash, but there is a value with the name dash dot. So we need to very careful about that one. What are the possible values that are accepted by ls? Coming to the symbols, these are the four symbols that are accepted. What are those symbols? Single dash, double dash, dash dot and colon. Coming to the phrase, suppose if you want to assign some phrase, like you can assign like a solid or dash dot or dot. Only these four are possible. So now I can change the names like I will cut this one dash dot. Dash dot is a value that is accepted by ls attribute. Now it is going to draw a graph dash and dot. If you observe, the entire graph contains dash and dot, but there is no graph, there is no shape called dot and dash. Previously I given dot dash, so it is simply raises an error like this. There is no attribute value called dot dash. And if I want only dotted, I can use this dotted. If I want only solid, I can use this one. If I want only dashed lines, I can use this one. So I will try these two, dashed and dotted. Dash. This time I will try with dash. See, when I given the phrase for ls value as like dash, it draws a line graph only using dash. Similarly, if I want to draw a graph by using only dots, then I can use dotted. Dotted. So previous one is when I given dashed, it draws a line graph by using dash symbols. If I given like dotted, it draws a line graph by using dotted. If I did not specify it, then by default a solid line will be drawn. Suppose if I remove this ls, then what happened? It draws a line graph with a solid line. Just like this, a solid. So default one is solid line. So like this we can draw different types of graphs, okay, using plot function, and we assign labels to x label, x-axis using x label function, assign labels to y-axis using y label function, assign a common title for the whole graph, and to display we access the show function. Like this, these 5 functions are helpful to plot a line graph.